What's going on, everyone? This is City Wrestling Radio, January 26, 2023. I'm your host, Korey Smith, being joined, well, not as always, but being joined today by the returning Mr. Michael Vergara. Michael, how the heck are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty gosh darn well. How about you, Korey Smith?
Well, sorry, I've been listening to a lot of Conrad's podcast, and I feel like he always starts off, "It's 83 weeks, Mr. Eric Bischoff. How the heck are you?" Every week, it's just formulaic. Anyways,
okay.
Well, I just wanted to give a little Conrad Thompson for everyone there at home. I mean, I feel
How
like
many companies have you bankrupted, Korey?
I'm not talking about Bischoff. I'm talking about Conrad. He's done things, right? He's put.
He's done a thing. He's done things. Yeah.
Oh,
right on.
Yes. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Conrad Thompson as much as we want to. We're here to talk a little bit of pro wrestling this week because we got fallout from this week's AEW Dynamite. We also have a confirmed Vinnie Mac sighting in the wild. Where is he? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, we can't confirm that man is still alive. We would hear about it if we heard otherwise.
He would be in his polo shirt at a Miami nightclub, walking out. Don't take pictures of me.
No, it's abundantly it's been abundantly clear that Vince McMahon in his we'll get into it later.
We'll get into it, and also it's time to Rumble this Sunday, or no, Saturday, not Sunday. It's the Royal Rumble. It returns to TV or computers or whatever the fuck you're watching it on. But we're gonna take a look at all the
the cock, brother, on the cock.
It's on the ass butt, as I call it. It's a peacock ass. Anyways, we're gonna take a look at all the possible surprises this year. But before we get into all of that, please take a time and click the like down below, the subscribe, and all that good stuff. It really does stroke our egos and lets us know that we're good boys. Let us know we are good boys because, like I said, I wasn't hugged as a kid, and my therapist has pointed this out, and I think the likes kind of counterbalance it or makes it worse. I don't know. Either way, click all the good stuff down below because if you like us, it helps us out.
We all strive to be liked. I mean, isn't that what wrestling? That's also what wrestling's all about too.
It's all about having father figures that weren't there for you as a kid. It's looking up to Brian Cage and saying, "Will you be my daddy?"
Not many people look up to Brian Cage, literally. Have you seen the man?
I've seen him many times. He's my height, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Sorry, anyways, Brian. Well, you talk a little Brian Cage. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite this week. Michael, what did you think of the show overall? The Jay Briscoe tribute show.
Yeah. Well, first of all, rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. I think this is the first show. Is this the first show you've done since the passing? Yes. Yeah.
I needed you for that. You were probably the one that's probably watched more Briscoe matches in your life.
Out of the three of us, probably.
Yes.
Jay Briscoe. He, I know it's been a term that's been thrown around ad nauseum ever, in ROH. I mean, in AEW, but a lot of people say the Briscoes were in fact a gigantic pillar to ROH, and seeing the outpouring of emotion of every wrestler who has wrestled for ROH to not a bad word is ever said about either Briscoe. And it's just to see out of it, if there's any shred of positivity towards this utter tragic story, it's just how utterly unified everyone was, spanning across entire multiple companies, multiple decades. People just paying their respects for one Jay Briscoe, and it's just one of those. It was just an immense tragedy that's been that's just a huge fucking bummer as far as my knowledge of matches are concerned. I've always known the legendary tag matches against him and FTR, which aren't that old, but some might say when you watch that, you think man, these guys have an entire career ahead of them at this point. It's just utterly said. Oh my god, the video on this just
that's all right, man. Whatever.
No, just the blur just kind of
got a blurry background.
Yeah, but
Well,
Not much to really to say about that. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean,
as a former ROH world heavyweight champion, that was definitely a career staple of him. But then the Briscoes were definitely like as good of a like a loyal wrestlers as you could possibly ask for,
yeah.
yeah, out of any company. And so sad.
Jay did pass away, I believe, was it a little over a week ago? I think it was on the
Tuesday.
17th. Yeah, it's on the 17th or the 16th, whatever.
Yeah.
And then earlier this week, like you said, the whole wrestling world kind of came together, said nothing but great things about him. And, despite, the reports that held him back from being in AEW Dynamite, which, it's been said by everyone that, well, he said something dumb on Twitter and, he tried to
I
learn from
mean,
it. And
we're not here to police other people's
yeah,
emotions and opinions on like, what they think, of their
yeah,
opinion of that person. But proof is in the pudding. Everybody like there's just so much people as much as the outpouring of support, for Jay Briscoe, like of his existence, like you can see like the amount of people and like prominent figures of the LGBTQ wrestling community saying how how humbled he was out of that controversy, and how like he really wanted to make right, like as in like
yeah.
ask for forgiveness, and and what more
Learn
can
and
you
be
really,
better.
yeah, learn and be better and all that stuff.
Yeah, so then earlier this week, the IWC, those three letters, the Internet Wrestling Community, was ignited ablaze when word broke out that Warner Brothers Discovery would not be allowing Mark Briscoe to wrestle on AEW Dynamite after the passing of his brother. Well, rest assured that IWC community firefighter Mr. Tony Khan quickly extinguished those reports and announcing Mark Briscoe to face Jay Lethal on AEW Dynamite this week to honor the late great Jay Briscoe.
Yeah,
Mark,
that shit was wild.
no, it was a great match.
Like,
It
well,
was a
no,
great
the thing is,
match.
like, so like I was listening to them, Observer Radio, and like when that mailbag question came up saying, well, can Mark Briscoe appear on AEW, and like Meltzer was like, he just said no, and he said no, and people are not going to like that answer. And so, and as soon as I heard that and then ended that podcast, I immediately went to Twitter and to see that match get announced, like, oh shit, oh shit, shit went
Yeah,
down. And so
I you know
it's
I mean
fucked
it
up.
was
It's fucked
announced.
up that he was just like barred from it from the first place. Like, I get that it was Jay, but then like to lump Mark into it too, like it's just that idea is just. But
Yeah,
whatever. What's been said was said,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we got a really great fucking Dynamite match out of it. So
Leading to Mark Briscoe defeating Jay Lethal with the Jay Driller, which was, like I said, an absolutely fabulous match that meant much more than storyline, more to honor, like I said, Jay Briscoe. Like I said, the
I thought
match
that
was
match was fantastic too. Like these guys, like Mark Briscoe, you could really see him he held it way, I don't want to say better, but then like
held it together.
he had the I swear to God, the biggest resolve that I could see from anyone after, knowing that their brother tragically passed away. And once you compare that to, Jay Lethal, which, not to say, he's better than him at such and such, but then you could see the outpouring of emotion that what Jay Lethal was having in comparison. It's just like, man, Jay Briscoe really just, again,
Yeah.
he's just like had a great effect on him, great effect on both of them. Obviously on Mark, you know.
Yeah. So the show started with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Daniel Garcia was ringside taking on Ricky Starks and Action Andretti. Match ended when Garcia smacked Andretti with the baseball bat and Sammy hitting the GTH for the pin and the win. I mean, not much match there, just, them.
It's just kind of what confirmed my fear when Ricky Starks had that semblance of momentum coming out of that MJF program, was let's slot him in with JAS and basically just have him kneecapped. Like same thing happened to Eddie Kingston, you know.
Yeah.
And now look at where Eddie Kingston is, which confuses the hell out of me still, but
Well,
yeah, we'll see how it
the
goes. We'll
storylines are
see how it
intertwined,
goes. We'll
you
see
know.
how it goes.
Well, Eddie Kingston's obviously going to join the House of Black. He's going to come out with like black face paint.
I thought he was going to come out with blackface, and I was just like, what?
Mm, I that would be weird,
That
but
would be a choice.
that would be a choice. Yes. Darby Allin with Sting, defeating Buddy Matthews with Julia Hart to retain the TNT title after attempted interference by the House of Black, who were thwarted by Sting and Ortiz because, Ortiz, them, Eddie Kingston, now
The
Sting,
connection, the
Darby, and
connection.
eventually Samoa Joe's going to get folded into that, and then Wardlow, and then it's just going to be the whole big Royal Rumble match or Casino Battle Royal.
So it's a long ways away, Corey.
Well, I don't know. I feel like there's so many people involved in this storyline with the House of Black that what is that leading to?
I'm
I don't
kind
know.
of just it's not leading to anything. It's just giving an excuse for these guys to show up on television. I'm sorry, I'm just not the biggest fan.
After the match, Tony Schiavone got in the ring to interview Darby. Samoa Joe appeared on the screen to challenge Darby Allin for the TNT title. I can't remember. Is that next week, or I believe that's next week, right? Yeah.
Let me to get back on the whole House of
Yeah.
Black thing. They're wonderful performers, all three of them. It's just that every time I see them on television, I just think like we know how good these guys are. We don't want to say we have nothing for them, but really we can't. Let's just slot them in matches for no reason. And like as much as I like seeing them, do their job, be wrestlers wrestling, it's wearing a little bit thin.
Well,
Especially when like there's no really meaningful long term plans with them. Like no, Buddy Matthews is not gonna. He is not getting that TNT title.
no,
Malachi Black.
he might
I don't
one
know.
of these days.
Should be the All Atlantic champion. Him or Pac. Nah, Pac already got that. Whatever.
Yeah, he already had it. Next up, Jungle Boy Jack Perry and the FTW champion Hook. So that's Jungle Hook, the team up, defeated Ethan Page and Matt Hardy with members of the firm ringside. A decent match but it went through the picture-in-picture. Jungle Hook won when Perry applied the snare trap to Page, and Hook prevented Hardy from saving All Ego. So, Michael, what is going on with the firm? That's what I want to know. What is this? Is this like just
I mean the Stokely Hathaway thing, right?
Yes.
It's just he's just a heel. I mean, Stokely Hathaway is a heel manager, and he has clients, and those are his clients.
Big Bill, Ethan, now Matt Hardy and Isaiah are folded into that. I don't know, man.
I think Stokely Hathaway like does enough to justify the existence of this firm. You don't necessarily. He's entertaining enough he makes it work. Honestly, he's honestly the best part of that entire. He's obviously the best part of that entire package. So
Well, I mean, yeah, but it just feels like the island of misfit toys to me. That's all. Anyways, next up we have Family Therapy with the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass.
this was
and
barely a
the
segment.
Guns.
This was barely a segment.
Yeah, barely a segment, but I feel like we got something coming here. I feel like
Elaborate.
I think Billy Gunn's turning on the Acclaimed.
Billy Gunn's the most over part of that entire act. Why would you fucking turn him heel?
I don't know, but the way they ended that, it was like he said, "What do you want from me, kids? Like I wasn't there for you as a father." They made him like feel like a horrible father, and he's just like, "What do you want?" And they said, "We want those titles." And they walked away. What's a father to do at that point? I mean, logically speaking, it is pro wrestling, so there's no real life logic there.
Yes, it's fair. I mean, but I don't know, because like really, I can see. I can see.
But you're right.
I can see the as over as Billy Gunn is. I can see the Acclaim kind of wiping their hands clean off of Billy Gunn at this point, even though Scissor Me Daddy Ass continues to be the most over fucking catchphrase, arguably in the entire company.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire
Yeah.
But no, they could do whatever they want, honestly. Like I wouldn't feel that strongly any other way.
I don't see the Guns as champion. All that being said, and I mean, I do kind of agree. Why would they do that with the most over thing? But what they were hinting at to me. It seems like they were hinting at a breakup there. Bryan Danielson defeated the one of the ROH 6-man champion, Brian Cage, with Prince Nana, who I'm still asking, like, who was Prince Nana?
He was ROH. No, I'm serious. Like
No, I know.
he was a
I
pretty big
know.
part of ROH.
Okay. He was a big part of ROH. Okay. I just feel like if they're going to be on here more often, we should get to know them a little bit more. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
People know. I mean,
well,
okay. Not everything needs an explanation, but that's okay.
I'm just saying. So this was the third out of the fifth match series, and boy, it was a pretty damn good match. With they were really beating up on Bryan, though, focusing on the shoulder or the arm of Daniel Bryan, or Bryan.
That's part of the arm.
Bryan did pick up the victory with a flash roll up pin, but after the match, MJF came out to join Cage in a beatdown, and a ceremonial beatdown of Bryan Danielson and his arm after the match, smashing it into a post, aiming to Pillmanize Bryan's arm until Konosuke Takeshita came out to the ring for the save. Michael, so what do you think of this build to this title match at AEW Revolution? Because to me, it seems like they're building him up for a loss.
Well, no shit, Korey. Of course he's going to lose this.
Well, this is your favorite wrestler. You're going to go see him live. You're going to go see this match live, sitting next to me.
I mean, Monkey's Paw, it's going to be an hour, and it's going to be an hour full of, hour full of shenanigans, or not. Like, he wrestled an hour against Hangman Adam Page literally last year. So, I mean,
yeah,
I think Danielson's too talented for this to like make it not look good or make it not look fucked with an hour long match. But I do see them planting the seeds of like callbacks to the last five matches to really kind of just pad out time. Like I bet you like everybody that Bryan wrestled will be involved in that match, which isn't a great prediction, especially for a show that I'm going to be attending. It probably won't happen. I don't think.
Yeah.
I just have that wrestling logic brain rot in me for that to happen, for a way to pad that out. But as far as the build is concerned, hey, it's getting Danielson TV time. It's getting him It's getting him to wrestle matches between wrestlers that you never really expected. Like very unique matches. He doesn't have any. It's not stuff that we have. Like it's stuff that we haven't seen before. Like a fucking Bandito Danielson match on national television. That's a Takeshita match. Like these. This is what we wanted out of Danielson,
Brian
right?
Cage match.
Yeah, to a lesser extent, but they had a story to tell with that
Thatcher,
one.
Thatcher next week, so
yeah, Thatcher. He's going to be wrestling Danielson on that date, and he's going to be wrestling on West Coast on some other date, right?
So, what do you mean? Doing an indie show or no? What?
Yeah, Thatcher's doing West Coast.
Oh, Thatcher. I was like,
Yeah.
Danielson is not. But yeah, he's doing West Coast Pro. Yeah, you're right.
Against Bailey, right? Mike Bailey, not Bailey, but Mike Speedball, Mike Bailey.
Thatcher versus Mike Bailey is going to be a great match. How is that? That's the one, I think, weekend of Revolution, right?
Yeah. So Revolution's on Sunday. That's on a Saturday at the Irish Community Center.
That's correct. I already got my ticket. I just don't have my ticket for Rampage yet. I'm still considering it. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe.
I wonder how the tickets are for that show. You think? Let me see if I can get tickets for that. That's the thing. They got to announce. I mean, they haven't announced anything for Dynamite for.
It'll probably be a TNT title match or an All Atlantic title match on Rampage, I'm guessing.
It's live though.
Yes.
So are they just going to do Elevation or Dark? No, wait.
Probably Dark, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they'll probably just do Dark. I don't know. That's a big ask. I'm working that 50, day too.
50, but I'm asking for that whole kind of Wednesday through Sunday off.
Yeah, I'm thinking if I could probably make work. I'll probably be too tired. I got to tell them. I really do got to tell them that I can't do first week of March. Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
Next up, Ruby Soho defeated Toni Storm after Britt Baker. The seemingly face-turned Britt Baker came out to distract Storm. So
is it really a face turn? Explain what happened.
I mean, so she just kind of came out and distract Toni. Well, Toni Storm's a heel. and
By transitive property. I mean, by associative
phase
property
and
or
Ruby's
whatever property
phase.
in math that
So
I didn't listen in.
variables and
Yeah.
denominators, those are at play here, Michael. So
But then it's a heel move to no, faces do that all the time. It was weird. This entire women's segment was weird. The match was okay, but this thing was weird.
they've been setting up the whole homegrown talent versus the WWE.
What do you think of that?
Well, with Ruby Soho on the homegrown talent side is a little weird.
I mean, you could always have like the in-betweeners like, hey, I like started my career not with WWE, but I was in WWE, but then I'm here now. I feel like that's again, I it always just kind of becomes the root of like my overall problem with with angles of that sort of element where people complain like, oh, these ex WWE people, you're getting a bunch of WWE people. Like, motherfucker, like these past 5 years, like
I've been all WWE.
everybody's been in WWE. Like because of like thanks to Triple H and his like indie hiring spree, like you'd be like hard pressed to get. I mean, granted, there's plenty of wrestlers who haven't been to WWE that are, getting the attention of AEW and will sign with AEW, with your Action Andretti's and your Nick Waynes and other seemingly excited prospects. But like at the end of the day, like you're getting wrestlers, and with the amount of wrestlers out there, chances are they work for WWE. That's not, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
So next up, then there was that everyone's talking about that hip attack, Tony Storm. I mean, does
ass-based offense.
Yeah. MJF, then that's when he announced after this, he announced Timothy Thatcher will be facing Bryan Danielson next week.
And his teeth.
Well, I mean, he's a fighter.
He's hard fought.
Him and Mark Briscoe. It was kind of a toothless 15. He hasn't gotten those teeth fixed or anything. Okay, it's part of his gimmick. He is a farmer. He's a fighter.
Britt Baker was too busy distracting Tony Storm to do anything about those two. So,
see, exactly. She's
that's what makes her a heel.
I still think they're setting that up to eventually, Britt using the other faces to defeat Saraya and Tony Storm, and then eventually turning on Jamie Hayter. Because why else would she be doing any of this if it wasn't all about herself?
Don't know how I feel about a face Britt Baker.
That's what I'm saying. She's going to be a heel all along. She's just using everyone to her advantage in this situation. All right. So like I said, then we had the main event. ROH champion Mark Briscoe defeated Jay Lethal. As we noted in the intro, after the match, Mark Briscoe met with the ROH and AEW rosters on the stage for an emotional kind of celebration of Jay Briscoe. As AEW went off the air, we had Mark holding up both his and Jay's title with a tribute to Jay Briscoe on the back screen.
That ending of Mark Briscoe just like talking to the camera, saying like he like acknowledging Jay's family and acknowledging him, them as brothers, say like I'll see you again, like that was some slick shit, dude. Like even that, like slick as in like, man,
yeah.
Mark Briscoe, whenever he's ready, like he has, I mean, it's no surprise that he's like an incredible worker. Of course, like that dude's been wrestling for like almost 20 years at this point. But whenever he's ready, like he could end up being really quite a big fucking deal, because there was an interview going on like where he thought he was just more or less done with wrestling, and in some morbid, and he said in some kind of morbid way he wants to continue to honor, his family's
brother,
legacy, his brother, like by their name. And I'm like, dude, that's what you got there. Like that is all the ingredients of being a gigantic star, or like creating a gigantic connection with the audience and, your character going forward, as morbid as that sounds, using your, but but then there's a realness factor to it too that makes it seem all the more
man's
authentic.
Gonna eventually got to work too. You know what I mean? So eventually he's going to come back.
I have no doubt in my mind. Like Tony Khan said it himself, with the contract that the Briscoes have with the ROH, which is by all intents and purposes long term. I'm sure like they'll take care of that family.
No.
As long as they possibly can.
But I'm just saying, like, eventually, like, he's gonna go back to work. It just he seems like a working man. He seems like he's been working hard his entire life, and to stop working now at this point, he'd probably need to go to work as just to kind of distract himself a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, look at that.
What happened?
Apparently, Zoom wants me to upgrade because we're going to need to rejoin in a couple minutes. So let's talk about Vinnie Mac, though, shall we?
Do we?
Well, I mean, PW Insiders, it just came out earlier today. PW Insiders Mike Johnston has reported that Vincent Kennedy McMahon has been spotted within the Titan Towers. Hit the alarm
Yeah, no
because
shit. He's
Vinnie
the
Mac
fucking
is back.
he works for that company. He's the fucking chairman of that company, dude.
Well,
Of course he's gonna be in Titan
well,
Towers.
there have been reports that he's returned back when he quote unquote retired,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm. You
High
can go.
five. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah,
Trying to refocus my
out of there.
camera. That's what I was.
This is the first confirmed sighting, at least confirmed by PW Insider. But do you think he's like making a full return to creative and his full Vincent Kennedy, Vinnie Mac ways, Michael?
I mean, I feel like that's kind of just what everybody was thinking when the second, like his comeback like was even hinted at. That was my number one 100% like hunch. Like, oh, he's gonna want creative back. He wants everything back. It's gonna be him. It's gonna be him. It's gonna be him. It's gonna be all, And how that impacts the sale of any company, I think everybody is just looking at the Saudis because it turned just like that seems to be like the number one company that's just kind of fast dead. Like that would be the one to approve the prospect of Vince being in creative control.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because I can't, like I said, we said before, I can't see him leading creative control if any other company. Maybe if Endeavor bought him, because they got Dana White still.
Bought WWE, not Vince.
What?
Bought him.
Oh,
It
yes.
made it sound like you were
Yes.
buying Vince.
Y'all, I mean, Vince, if the price was right, I'm sure he'd be open to a sale. I'm just saying. He always has been. All right, let's talk a little Raw Triple H though, okay? Or not Triple H because Triple H was on Raw this week. But we'll talk about it maybe a little bit. But Raw Triple X, did you watch the whole show, Michael?
No,
Okay. Did you watch the show at all?
no.
No, you didn't watch any of it. You didn't watch the Bloodline segment?
I heard about it.
Oh my god. So
Thursdays, everybody.
you got to watch this, Michael, because honestly,
What? No.
no,
This is what I signed up for. Fuck you.
this was a great segment. And
Okay, I believe you.
They're setting Sammy up. They're setting Sammy up to the umpth degree, with Roman kind of leading him and Paul Heyman leading this crusade against Sammy at this point, saying he's let the family down time and time again. And kind of taking it to the point where they were telling Solo Sikoa to take out Sami Zayn, which led to Jey Uso standing up for Sami Zayn to defend him. It's just a little confusing because, like I said, I don't know where this trial part came from. Because last week on SmackDown, Heyman was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Let's keep Sami Zayn in the bloodline. It's all good. And this week he's trying to kick him out. But like I said, it does lead down a series of twists and turns because I mean, if you're going to set up for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at some point to take
They
on
need to make that
Usos,
abundantly clear because you're kind of just setting up your audience to think that Sami Zayn is winning that Royal Rumble, which, hey, if you want to, do it. And they probably but you
but
kind of
what better way to do it than for Jay to give him the kick that kicks him out of the bloodline? You know what I'm saying? At this point, I think Jay standing up for Sammy this last week was just the whole
a
gimmick.
red herring was a red
Yeah.
herring.
Is that what the kids call it? Is that what the
But
kids of the 1950s call it?
it's a lot. I mean, yes.
But like I said, we'll see where it goes, especially this upcoming weekend at the Royal Rumble. Wow, because we only got what 5 matches announced with only a few people announced for
I
the
mean, you
Rumble.
got 2 hour long Royal Rumbles. Like you can't really have that much room to announce anything at that point.
Yes. Well, I mean, they'll probably add. I mean, I don't know, tag team title. Well, tag team title match would be nice. Just
Yeah,
saying.
you could prolong that.
Bianca Belair is going to be taking on Alexa Bliss this weekend for the Raw Women's title, which I don't know with the whole Uncle Howdy stuff. What do you think of Uncle Howdy, Michael? You sound so excited about Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, sure.
No?
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Not for me. Not for me.
You don't like the
There's some real silly bastards that into that shit. Not me.
Okay. Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. Probably have more Uncle Howdy tomfoolery. Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Kevin Owens, which I don't know. I think this is definitely going to lead to Roman Reigns to go on to Mania. And then the two Rumble matches. Women's Rumble, we only have what 7 people announced. Liv
I
Morgan. What's
to
up?
just cut you off a little bit. I
Yeah.
did hear one promo from Kevin Owens where he said, "I in my match against Roman Reigns, I am going to work hard that night."
Yeah. Well, wrestling,
just,
yeah, they give you
no,
what they
he's
give you.
gonna work hard because I know I can't just outright say I'm gonna win it because not a goddamn soul is ever gonna believe me in saying it. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this just to let you, believe in me just a little bit, which
Yeah.
ever the worker, that Kevin Owens.
Well, I mean, like I said, we'll see what happens. I mean, the whole Sami Zayn thing is it's gonna happen on Saturday night at the Rumble, in my opinion. The women's Rumble
That's a
match,
quite a hot take. It's gonna happen
it's
on
gonna
Saturday in
happen.
the Royal Rumble.
Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, and Emma announced for the women's Rumble.
I'm sure there will be more.
Yeah, I hope
I
so.
would hope so.
A 7-person Rumble though, that would kind of free the car up for a tag title match.
I think Tiffany Stratton will has a good chance of going there. I
Yeah.
have the NXT ladies, Alba Fire,
Yeah, oh, definitely. We'll have some
uh,
Alba Fire. The
Dakota Kai,
There we
maybe.
go. Yes. And
Uh,
Damage Control, I'm sure will be in it. You know.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, I honestly think Rhea Ripley's the shoe
Kind
in.
of the odds-on favorite on that one, huh?
I mean, unless it leads to like Alexa Bliss coming out and joining the match after her loss to Bianca, you know?
No, I don't think. Sure, why not? I don't really care. I
And then
should though. I should. I know I
it's
should.
gonna be good. I'm
They're
gonna get
not. They're not. They're not doing a good job in compelling me right now.
I'm
Yep. Keep going.
I'm gonna order a pizza. It's
Oh
gonna
wow,
be
that's
fun.
compelling.
My
Now that's
girlfriend
the
and I
most.
are watching the Rumble. That's our show. We watch it every night.
Uh huh. Uh
But the
huh.
men's Royal
Keep going.
Rumble. Okay, do you think there are going to be any good surprises this year? Like, and I mean, we usually get like Tatanka running out, not Earthquake, but because he's dead. But people like that Tatanka running out. I'm sure will be one because he didn't make the Raw 30. But what do you think, Michael?
I'm gonna say honestly. I'm gonna say Austin has a good chance of appearing.
Yeah,
I could see Austin. I could see Jay White appearing. I don't know. Maybe.
Jay White's contract is it up in New Japan?
Fucking. I don't know. I don't
It
really
seems
follow
like
that
it is, and
stuff.
if they had Carl Anderson on both shows at one point, kind of back to back,
You
why
know
not?
what? If you have Austin the Rumble, I feel like you should advertise that though.
Well, here's the thing with
I mean,
Cody
the
and
Rumble's the Rumble. Is an attractive in and of it is an attraction in and of itself. So I don't think you necessarily have to advertise Stone Cold Steve Austin. But they're in Texas. They're in San Antonio, Texas. So
HBK maybe.
and they already kind of like sold that show out. So maybe man, Austin. If fucking Austin shows up there, man, that'd be pretty
Well,
fucking sweet.
who's announced so far? We got Kofi Kingston, Santos Escobar, Rick O'Shea, Austin Theory, Seth freaking Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, Omos, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross, and Dominic Mysterio. I'm being out of this. I mean,
Wait a minute. Where is the Rumble?
it's San Antonio.
Is it?
Alamo Dome. Yeah, it is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
I mean, I think Cody Rhodes is odds-on favorite to win this one.
Yeah, and I don't think. And then some people are scared of the rejection of Cody Rhodes. It's like I don't really think so. I think Cody Rhodes has a good chance of being over enough to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns, and I do think that would be the best decision going forward.
Yeah.
But for him to win both titles, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Well, I think that about does it here for us. We should probably get out of here because we got about 30 seconds left on this recording. And might as well wrap it up because
We're pretty much done.
we're pretty much done here. Hopefully, it doesn't cut me off. But until next time, I'm Korey Smith.
I'm Michael Vergara.
And we'll see you again. Take care. Have a wonderful day. And we'll see you after the Royal Rumble.
See ya.
See you. Bye.